None of these people knew each other. Different years, different places. But each story starts the same way, with something that felt slightly off, and ends with the same thought. If I had reacted 1 second later, lock your doors. This is Anonymous in the Dark. I woke up to glass shattering. Everyone else was drunk, asleep, and I realized if someone was inside the apartment, I was the only one awake. I never planned on going. That's important. I wasn't a party person. I still really aren't. But it was my senior year, and everyone kept saying the same thing. You'll never get another chance. So I said yes. We drove down to Santa Barbara the Friday before Deltopia. 5 of us in one car, Hunter driving. Damon, Benjamin, Armin, and me crammed in. All of us over 6 feet tall, no leg room, shoulders touching the whole way. Still, the drive felt normal. Music, talking, nothing weird. Isla Vista was a mess. Cars everywhere. People already drunk. No parking at all. We circled for almost an hour before Hunter somehow convinced a sorority girl to let us use her spot. We laughed about it. It felt like the trip was already paying off. Hunter's sister let us crash at her apartment. During Deltopia, that's a golden ticket. Floor sleeping didn't matter. Her roommates were chill. We decided to drink with them that night. That's when Amir showed up. Not invited, not mentioned, just there. We were leaving the liquor store when I noticed him standing on the curb, hands in his pockets, looking straight at us. No one said anything. We just kept walking. And he fell into step beside us like he'd been there the whole time. A few blocks later, he finally spoke. "Why are you guys so surprised to see me?" No one answered. Because none of us knew how to explain that he wasn't supposed to be there. At all. Back at the apartment, he asked if he could use the bathroom. Hunter hesitated, then agreed. Amir ran ahead of us. When Hunter's sister opened the door, Amir walked straight past her and said, "I'm staying here." Then he went inside. Hunter lost it. He told Amir he had to leave, that lying to his sister crossed a line, that he wasn't welcome. Amir didn't yell. He just stood outside the door for almost 20 minutes, arguing, trying to talk his way back in. Eventually he left. We drank after that. Harder than we should have. Later that night, we realized Hunter had been sharing his location with Amir. That's how he found us. The next day was Deltopia. Crowds, noise, drinking all day. Nothing went wrong. That night we were back at the apartment with more friends. 10 of us total. Someone brought Amir up again. Rylan checked his phone, went quiet. Then he turned the screen toward us. Amir's location was right on top of ours. Not nearby, not down the street, right there. As soon as we reacted, the dots started moving, fast, like someone driving away. We laughed. That's what I regret. That night I woke up after midnight. No reason. just awake. Then I heard glass shatter. Deep in the apartment, everyone else was out cold. I grabbed an empty wine bottle. That was all I had. The sliding door to the balcony was destroyed. Glass everywhere. A rock in the middle of the floor. I knew who it was. I turned to wake my friends and saw the closet door handle move. Just a little. I froze. I stood there thinking about how close I was to opening it. Instead, I backed away. Woke Hunter. Told him everything. We walked back together. The closet door was open. Empty. Hunter reached inside and pulled something out. A kitchen knife. Big. Heavy. That's where Amir had been standing. Behind the door, waiting. We woke everyone up. Searched the apartment. Called the police. Nothing came of it. Property damage during Deltopia, no suspect, no proof. The next morning, Hunter messaged Amir. It never delivered. All of us were blocked. He disappeared. I still think about how close I came to opening that door, how normal everything felt right before it happened, and how easy it is to laugh something off until it's standing in the dark with a knife. The lights came on behind us. Unmarked SUV. Middle of nowhere. And the man who stepped out didn't look like any police officer I'd ever seen. My name isn't important. This happened a long time ago, but I remember it clearly. Too clearly. Late April 1996. I had just finished basic training and got stationed at an air base in San Angelo, Texas. Communication specialist. 24 years old. I needed distance from home. Texas gave me that. My closest friends on base were Sabaz and Kay. We were inseparable back then. 3 people trying not to lose their minds in routine. One weekend, Sabaz suggested a road trip to Austin, just for the day, a change of scenery. Kay offered to drive. About an hour into the trip, we were on a quiet stretch of highway. Long, flat. Nothing around us. Sabaz spoke up from the back seat. "Did you see that SUV pull off the shoulder?" I looked back. Dark Tahoe, keeping pace. Kay changed lanes. It followed. She changed again. So did the Tahoe. Then the lights came on. Unmarked. We pulled over. At first, I assumed undercover cop. That made sense. Then the driver stepped out. All black tactical gear. No badge, no markings, nothing that said police. He didn't walk up to the window. He stood behind the SUV, just watching, looking through the rear window, scanning our stuff, reading Kay's bumper stickers. That's when I felt it. Something wasn't right. Sabaz rolled his window down and asked if there was a problem. The man ignored him, then suddenly walked up to Kay's window and asked for her license and registration. She gave it to him. He went back to his vehicle and didn't come back. Minutes passed. Too many. We whispered about how strange this was getting. None of us knew what to do. Then the driver stepped out again. This time, 2 more men got out with him. That's when my heart started racing. I focused on breathing. Training kicked in. The original guy asked Kay about the military bumper sticker. "Is your dad in the Army?" Kay laughed. "No, I am." Then she gestured to us. "They are too." The change was immediate. The man stiffened, looked back at the other 2, then back at Kay. Silence. Finally, he handed her license back. "Slow it down." That was it. They got back in the Tahoe and sped off before we could even pull back onto the road. We just sat there. Sabas kept repeating the same thing. They weren't cops. Austin was fun, normal. We forgot about it until a week later. Sabas and I were watching the local news on base. A story came on. 2 people found dead in a ditch outside San Angelo. Robbed, murdered, dumped overnight. Then the reporter said it. A black Tahoe was found nearby, reported stolen months earlier. I felt sick. We found Kay immediately, went to the police, told them everything. I still think about that bumper sticker. How close we came. How easily it could have been us in that ditch. He took my wallet on the side of the road. 6 months later, I found out he was still living as me, in other states, doing things I couldn't undo. I don't like talking about this. I've avoided it for years, mostly because I don't want it traced back to me, but I kept thinking about how strange that is. To let something like this die with you, like it never mattered. So I'm putting it out there. About 10 years ago, I was driving alone from New Jersey to Fort Worth, Texas. Long trip, too much time to think. I hadn't seen my parents in a while. The drive felt overdue. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, or maybe Oklahoma, my car started acting up. At first, I ignored it, then I couldn't. I pulled over on the shoulder. Trees, fields, nothing else. I popped the hood and stared at the engine like I knew what I was doing. I didn't. I was just buying time before calling AAA, which I didn't even have. That's when I heard another car slow down behind me. White pickup truck. Plain. No front plate that I could see. A man stepped out. Mid-30s. Maybe older. Worn down. He walked up without asking if I needed help. Just leaned over the engine. I explained what happened. Thanked him for stopping. He said he was a mechanic. I believed him. After a minute, he stepped back. Said something about needing a compression tester. Said his friend might have one. Then he pulled out his phone. Said it was dead. Asked if he could borrow mine. I didn't hesitate. I handed it to him. That's when he pulled a gun, calm, casual. Told me to sit on the shoulder. Not do anything stupid. His voice didn't shake. He went through my pockets, my wallet, my backpack. Had me unlock my phone, then he drove away. Just like that. Someone else eventually stopped. Helped me get the car running, gave me directions. I made it to Fort Worth that night. The next few weeks were annoying. Replacing cards, IDs and passwords. I thought that was the end of it. 6 months later, I got a letter from a bank I didn't recognize, thanking me for opening a new line of credit, Then another. Best Buy, over $1,000 charged. Different town, Tennessee. That's when I remembered. My Social Security card had been in my wallet. He didn't just rob me. He took my life with him. My credit report fell apart. New cards, hard inquiries, balances I didn't recognize. I filed reports, froze my credit, called police. Nothing changed. Then I got a call from my health insurance provider. Someone had received emergency care under my name in Georgia. That's when it stopped being just money. There were medical records attached to me that weren't mine. I started tracking everything myself. Alerts, forums, social media. One night I checked Craigslist, Jackson, Tennessee, power tools for sale. Everything listed matched the Best Buy charges. I messaged him, kept it simple. We agreed to meet in public. Cash. The next day I couldn't go myself. So I called the police, gave them everything they said they'd watch. The next day they called me. As soon as the guy saw patrol cars, he sped off. Lost control, crashed into a ditch. Not bad enough to kill him, bad enough to stop him. He panicked, folded, said the stuff wasn't his. Blamed a friend. That was enough. There were 3 of them. They'd been targeting isolated drivers for a long time. They were all arrested. Sometimes I think about how easily it started. A dead phone excuse, a familiar face, a quiet road. And how long someone else lived as me before anyone noticed.